know, one question that I get asked a lot is, what is the biggest, most massive rig that you've ever seen? I mean, is it a monster truck or a big rig, piece of construction equipment? What is it? Well, that's an interesting question because those are all big rigs, but you're not thinking big enough. No, the biggest rig that I've ever seen on four wheels was a military vehicle called the L.A.R.C. But no, this isn't it. No, the L.A.R.C. is big enough to eat this thing whole. Now, LARC, or L.A.R.C, stood for Lighter Amphibious Resupply Cargo. And this thing stands over 17 feet tall, is roughly 30 feet wide, and 70 to 80 feet long, depending on where you measure from.
This is for you bling bling guys. We got a 51-inch rim. That's like 9 feet tall and 3.5 feet wide. I have got to get a set of these for a project.
Why so big, you ask? Well, basically, the L.A.R.C. is a barge with wheels, designed to take massive loads of equipment, like tanks and trucks, from ships, sail across the water, crash through a rough breaking surf, and dump the stuff on beaches that were inaccessible any other way. These were used extensively in Vietnam.
You better hold on.
Now, at this point, you're probably wondering, where on earth do you find something like this? And where do you drive it at? Well, this particular one is sitting at the Lane Motor Museum in Nashville, Tennessee, where they restore and display all kinds of unique vehicles, including the L.A.R.C.
I was always intrigued by them, but I thought, you know, one, we'd never be able to afford it, and two, even if we could afford it, could you get it to the museum? Because, you know, I wasn't interested in something you couldn't have at the museum. And actually, they had to pick it up with a crane to get it on land, and the first pickup, the first company wasn't successful. They had the cranes all set up, they went to pick it up, and they couldn't pick it up. So we had to have another company with a bigger crane come pick it up.
Okay, from a nuts and bolts standpoint, what does it take to move a rig that can weigh over 150 tons fully loaded and is the size of a house? Well, you guessed it, diesel power, and a lot of it. The L.A.R.C. has 4 GMC diesel engines, one for each tire, and they run through 4 transmissions, 12 gearboxes, 2 air compressors, 8 hydraulic pumps, and 2 dynamos. And that provides the power to make this thing move at a lumbering 15 miles an hour on land and about 7 miles an hour in the water. The steering is an engineering marvel. You have massive hydraulic rams that push and pull those big earth mover-sized tires. Now, of course, you have steering front and rear, and you've got a unique dual yoke that allows you to steer the front and rear tires together or totally independent of each other, making the L.A.R.C. fairly maneuverable, provided you can see where you're going.
I have no idea where we're going. I can't see squat out of this thing.
This is where your spotters are really important.
Oh, this is awesome, man.
Now, with all this destruction going on, we begin to wonder just what would happen if the L.A.R.C. encountered a real obstacle, like, say, a car. Could it hold its own with the monster trucks? Yeah, it does. Matter of fact, the L.A.R.C. will lay a car out flatter than anything you've ever seen. So you don't want to forget to set the parking brake on this sucker.
Is there anything worth salvaging?
Oh, yeah, look at this. It's a turn signal. It's still here in the gas cap.
Yeah, the gas cap.
The gas cap is still good. probably pains you, Michael, since you're from Germany, to see an NSU being annihilated in America, huh?
Well, hopefully that gives you an idea of what it's like to drive one of the most massive four-wheel vehicles ever built. This is a phenomenal piece of engineering. I wonder how long it'll take us to get to Memphis in this thing. Oh yeah, you're going with me.